What is up, y'all? Listen, if you missed out on Peak Partnership 2022, then you have been living in absolute FOMO for an entire year. And you know what? I don't want that for you. But I got good news for you. Peak Partnership 2023 is coming up. So, man, we can't wait for you to join us in Orlando, Florida. It's February 17th through the 19th. And I'll tell you this, it'll be an even bigger and better event. We're talking more people to network with, more opportunities, more multifamily opportunities, awesome headliners, and of course your boy Tyler Devereaux is going to be up there speaking as well. It's the event of the year, and I can promise you this, you will not want to miss out. So listen, visit mfmpeakpartnership.com. I'll say it again, mfmpeakpartnership.com for more details and to reserve your seat right frickin' now. This event is going to be epic. You do not want to miss out, so click the link in our description to register. Sincerely, what are you waiting for? Click the frickin' link, mfmpeakpartnership.com, and register, and I cannot wait to see y'all there. Aloha.
Welcome to this episode of the Growth Cast. It's me, Jackson Campbell, joined again here with Dallas Pruitt for another extended cut episode. We're very excited to be here. Another great little excerpt we're going to read from the book, Mindset by Carol Dweck. It's our book of the month. We've been reading it this month, and we've been dissecting it on these extended cut episodes. If you're just joining us here for the first time on the Growth Cast, welcome. Monday through Thursday, rather, we get daily drips from Dallas Pruitt, who is here with me today. But Monday through Thursday, he'll give a 3 to 5 minute daily drip is what we call them. They're mindset principles that can help you just really kick off your day and start your day and get yourself in that positive mindset to start the day. Then on Friday, I get the opportunity to sit down with Tyler Devereaux and interview him. Sometimes those Aloha Friday episodes are also Tyler interviewing other high-level individuals. But regardless, they are very, very impactful episodes and very powerful episodes, obviously, because we have Tyler Devereaux on there. So don't miss those Friday episodes. Amazing. Aloha Friday is what we call those. And then Saturday, we've got our extended cut episode where I get to dive in with Dallas Pruitt and we talk about the book of the month, like I mentioned prior. This month is Mindset by Carol Dweck, and we're going to jump into pages 215 to 217. If you want to review them prior to listening or even after listening, I definitely suggest rereading those. But Dallas, how are you, man? Did I miss anything? We've got Peak Partnership coming up. I definitely don't want to leave out Peak Partnership. Dallas and I will be at Peak Partnership. We're very excited to be there. Dallas and I will also have some stage time. I'm hosting a panel, which I'm very grateful to be able to do. But Dallas is actually going to be doing a keynote. So if you want to hear Dallas speak live, get to Peak. It's an amazing opportunity. It's an amazing networking event. To not only network with really powerful and impactful people within the multifamily industry, but to also just grow yourself, and continue to find some sort of motivation to continue forward, knocking out those goals that you have set for yourself.
Like the three words that come to mind for me with Peak Partnership is like growth, gratitude, and giving back. Like those are, those 3-4 days.
Awesome.
It's just like a prime opportunity for us to just be able to pour into all of you, to the network. And I'm just so pumped. It's going to be a blast. Been talking to people all week. We were talking about that prior to jumping on, and stoked. But dude, speaking of stoked, like,
awesome.
Let's not skip over your freaking sick backdrop that Straticus put together for you in the office.
Yes,
there.
if you're watching on YouTube, big shout out to Strat. He helped me with the setup here today. He's always so helpful with everything technology wise, but I'm just so grateful for him. One of the things that I set for myself this year was to enhance my image on the Growth Cast and like doing these recordings. And I wouldn't be able to do that without him. So I'm very grateful for him to set that up. So no, shout out Strat. And honestly, shout out the entire Growth Cast team. It's a bunch of team members that do a lot of things to make sure that the Growth Cast is fine-tuned for everybody every day. Finding new high level guests. We've got an amazing team behind the Growth Cast. We're very grateful for. But Dallas, let's dive in. Let's dive into this. The topic today, like I said, it's going to be found on page 215 to 217. But what we're going to talk about today is, it's kind of funny that we're wrapping up on this one, honestly, Dallas. We've been talking about what growth mindset is and how to implement with the growth mindset strategies and principles in your life. But today, we actually want to talk about what growth mindset is not. Yeah, we're gonna kind of flip the script a little bit and talk about what growth mindset isn't. But in the book, Carol DeWitt gives some examples, some misunderstandings that we're going to kind of break down and dive deeper into today. But Dallas, before we kind of dive into those misunderstandings, is there anything that you want to add here on what growth mindset isn't?
Yeah, I think we just dive straight in.
Let's do it.
In order to know how to adopt, feed, and live a growth mindset in all facets of life and business, you must also know what it is not, and you must also know about fake news when it comes to growth mindset, what imposters exist and how to catch them in yourself, right? It's really more about catching them in yourself. And it's a really interesting thing because I've worked with a lot of people. I myself have been that person who has thought, oh yeah, like totally living a growth mindset.
I've got a growth mindset. Yeah, I'm good.
You don't quite, when you don't understand it fully, or you're not aware, right? Self-awareness regarding trickery and imposters and situations that can pop up, man, like before you know it, you're in a really, really bad place or in a really bad trap for a really long time because you just didn't understand, like, oh, wait, that my perception, not even perception, my understanding of the reality of what a growth mindset really is was completely off base, or I misconstrued it throughout the process here. And so she does an amazing job of breaking it down to some very specific points. We've obviously taken some of these and reworded them a hair to just be able to drive them home with you all this Saturday. And so are we good to just jump in? I mean,
yeah, let's dive in. Yeah, let's dive in. Yeah, let's do it. That first misunderstanding that she talked about was taking what you like about yourself and calling it growth mindset, more or less, right? She goes on to say the very first misunderstanding, she says, many people take what they like about themselves and call that growth mindset. If they're open-minded or flexible, they say that they have growth mindset. But those two things are obviously very different. But go ahead, Dal. I didn't want to take that away from you. Go ahead.
A word that people throw out there is like a self-fulfilling prophecy, or taking whatever wonderful qualities you have, and we all have them. We all have good things about us that are strengths that we do well, and just attaching this idea that all of them are, examples of a growth mindset in everything we do. And instead of focusing on just all the wonderful, wonderful qualities about yourself, and really highlighting and hyper-focusing on what you like about yourself and what's good about you, you can really get confused or ignore what abilities you don't have, or cultivating even better qualities regarding the things that are already good about you. And that is extremely problematic because, much like last week, or I don't even remember if it was a drip this week or if it was what we dove into last week, you subconsciously, consciously, whatever, create a ceiling for yourself. You cap it off. And within the growth mindset, man, like there is no ceiling. There is no capping off of progress. There is no capping off of being able to develop as a person, develop a skill set, intellectually, emotionally, whatever. And so the reminder or the imposter to just kind of gut check yourself on regularly is, am I looking for information that just drives home the story I'm telling myself about how amazing I am regarding the qualities that I have? Or am I truly looking to learn and develop in totality as a person? And instead of capping everything, capping even the good qualities off, I'm leaving everything uncapped, and I have an opportunity to continuously develop and continuously learn. Does that make sense?
I think yes, it absolutely makes sense. Let me repeat it back to you to make sure it does make sense. But what I'm gathering from you here, Dallas, is oftentimes we all have really good qualities, and oftentimes we recognize those good qualities in ourselves, and we pour more time and attention into growing those qualities, right? It's because we kind of almost have like a leg up to grow that quality because it was like naturally just in us from the beginning. It's just a quality that we have. But we spend so much time on those good qualities that we have that we tend to forget about these not growth mindset or these fixed mindset things that we have, we often forget about them. But if we forget about them, they obviously stay fixed, right? And that they will eventually affect those other good qualities that you have that you've been working on. So it's so important. It's so important. I think it's so important for us to like Carol Dweck said, is to identify the distinct difference between being open-minded and being growth mindset oriented. It's two very different things, but they can at the same time help each other, right?
Absolutely.
So I just want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, if we have a fix, if we're not growth mindset, what growth mindset isn't, it isn't pouring time and effort into the qualities that we're already developing, that we already have, but rather finding the qualities that we struggle at and doing new things and getting new habits to grow those lesser qualities that we have about ourselves. Am I understanding that?
Absolutely. Let's simplify it even further. It is keeping your mindset focused on developing holistically strengths or weaknesses, not looking for confirmation or reassurance that you're great in a skill set that you already have. Again, it's keeping your mindset focused on development, continuous development. That means the good that you already have and the bad, but both. It's not going out and trying to just reconfirm how amazing you are at something you're already amazing at. That, like you said, is actually falling into a fixed track.
A fixed mindset. Yeah,
absolutely.
Fixed mindset, man.
Absolutely.
Hey, so powerful. So powerful. Okay, dude, let's move on to the second misunderstanding. The second misunderstanding is thinking it's only about effort and praising effort.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We talked about this, you and I. Well, we actually talk about it quite a bit. And it's something that I actually think about a lot. Ever since I read the book, Essentialism, by Greg McKeown, it's actually been something that like I think about quite often. And it's not because, let me preface it, I don't think about this because I want to do less, right? But I do believe that's a trap a lot of people fall into, is like, oh, well, if I think this way, then like that means I'm a lollygagger. That means I'm, something. And in Essentialism, he basically breaks down like more isn't better, better is better. That's essentially how he words it, right? And oftentimes in the false growth mindset, we kind of get stuck in this trap. When we think about the process, we think about effort. All I got to do is work harder. And eventually that rock is going to split into two. Well, that is true. Effort matters a ton, but effort is only a part of the process, right? There's other parts to the process. And when you're so hyper-focused on solely effort, your reaction to a situation that is serving a little problematic gets you stuck in a fixed mindset of thinking, well, we already have the answer. We just got to do more of what it is we're doing and it'll work. Well, sometimes it's not even about doing more of what you're doing. Sometimes it's actually, implementing a new strategy that you didn't even know existed, right? It's bringing a new perspective and trying something different. Sometimes different is better.
Yeah.
Right.
Can I give an example?
Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, dude, an example of something that I'm going through. I mean, I've been very transparent on the Growth Cast about my health journey, about the things that I'm learning within my health journey. But as I've noticed some of these things, and one of the things, it just kind of plays perfectly in line here. One of the things that I thought when I started my health journey is that I needed to be in the gym every single day, 2 hours, heart rate up, sweating, weights, treadmill, just pushing it for 2 hours. That's what I used to think, right? It's every single day I needed to be in there and doing that. I've learned some new things about fitness, about health, and I've learned that there's other things that I need to pour into myself in order to get the results that I want from going to the gym, like rest, proper nutrition, proper sleep. All of these other things that I didn't really understand prior to are new things that I have to implement implement to get to the goal that I'm trying to achieve. I say that because it hasn't been all about effort. I've kind of reeled back on the time that I spent in the gym and put a lot more focus on what's going into my body and the rest part of my body. So, and resting, which is very low effort. And I've been seeing much quicker results when I focus on those other things that aren't even necessarily effort, if that makes sense. So it's the same exact thing here in growth mindset, dude. It's like we think we need to read every single GD growth mindset book on the planet. We need to listen to every growth podcast that I can ever think of. We need to do this, do that, and add. But in times, what I've noticed, even when learning growth mindset and learning about growth mindset, is you have to digest the things that you learn, and then you have to implement those things. Yeah. Right. Growth, digesting information doesn't always take a lot of effort, right? You're understanding, you're really just thinking and maybe taking some notes, maybe like really digesting the things that you're learning. But it's a low effort activity that gives you massive amounts of reward or pushes you closer to whatever goal it is that you're trying to do. So dude, it's just an example that popped in my mind as we were speaking, as you were talking about it, is oftentimes it's not all about giving more effort. Yeah. But like stepping back a little bit and analyzing that effort that you're putting in as well.
I believe that growth is better. Growth isn't always more. Sometimes growth is more, if that's what better is. Yeah. Sometimes growth is subtraction and not addition, just like you said. And, making sure that we understand properly what growth means. I dropped this a couple weeks ago, but the perfect word or synonym to insert with growth is change for the better. Right. And so it's just looking at life and business and everything else through the lens of, am I, or is this changing for the better? Right. And sometimes that looks like subtraction. Sometimes that looks like addition. It just depends. But growth isn't always more. That's the incorrect synonym to insert permanently for growth. That is not what growth is. That's not what living a growth mindset looks like. And I always say, beware the busy badge of honor, right? Yeah. Like so many people fall into the trap of thinking, again, it's all about more. Growth is more. It is not more, right? It is better. What's the mission? How are we bettering it? What's my purpose? Is it getting better? Am I being able to serve more within the confines of whatever that purpose is? Am I living truer and truer to it every single day? Am I inching closer to that? And again, sometimes that looks like subtraction. Sometimes that looks like addition. It just depends on where you're at and if you're paying attention.
So good.
Excuse me. Ooh, I got a cough.
No, you're good. It's so good, man. It's such a trap that everybody gets caught into. It's such a trap. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody wants to be a really hard worker. Everybody wants to do that and wants to be known as a hard worker. But dude, it's oftentimes less is more.
Everybody wants it all, dude. Like everybody wants it all. It's like, well,
yeah.
Why do you want it all? Like, is all of it really pertinent to you? Like, does all of it really matter? Well, it doesn't. When you really slow down and you ask the right questions and you break your life down and what your purpose is and, define the why and you start to understand better and better that, man, like all of it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what matters. And that's where I want to grow. That's where I want to get better. That's where I want to continue to move towards. And so again, the equation sometimes looks like subtraction. It sometimes looks like addition. But I think that's probably an actionable in and of itself is, man, like if you're going to adopt and feed a growth mindset, which you should in everything you do, well, you should also know like what it is you're doing, like where you're going, where you're headed.
Yep.
And we talk about that often, but effort's just a part of the process, man. Just to kind of like re-summarize, effort's only one part of the process. The other parts include, finding new strategies, trying new strategies, and seeking input from other sources, people, books, like you said, podcasts, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's move on to this last one here, dude. Let's move on to the third misunderstanding. A growth mindset means you and anyone can do anything. I like it. Go ahead.
Yeah, this one's pretty cool. Her take and explanation on it's pretty awesome because she talks a lot about schools and children and teachers saying, "Oh, I know what a growth mindset is. I teach my kids all the time, right? In my classes, my students, that they can do anything they want. They can do anything. And, fulfilling a promise to yourself or helping someone else, in that case of the teacher and the student, fulfilling a promise to themselves, doesn't just come about by saying, hey, you can do anything. It's almost like a disservice. And this is actually how I viewed it when I was in schools. I saw this happen. I worked with a unique population of students who, had a hard time living in reality. Very, very low self-awareness, very low level of
self-awareness. Great way to put it. That is a great way to put it.
And they would say all the time, hey, Mr. P, I want to be a Navy SEAL. I want to be a special ops, a black ops guy. They like whatever it was. They had all these different iterations of what it would look like. Well, this is also the person who doesn't get dressed for PE in school because he doesn't want to work out with all the other students. And mind you, is, unhealthy eating habits, unhealthy thinking habits, lots going on right now. As the teacher, yes, you might fall into this trap, or the leader of a subordinate in a team situation, of wanting to instill a growth mindset in that person. And you think the answer is, you can do that. Like, we're good. You can do anything you set your mind to. That's the other part to it, right? Like, is you can do anything you set your mind to, right? Well, they don't set their mind. They just want to do anything. They think that should just come to fruition because they want it to work. And some people literally just don't understand how it works because they've never done the work prior to in their own lives to pick a really big, scary goal and then break it all down and fulfill on ongoing for a very, 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 very lifetime long worth of work, right? Long time. So that's the key there, is that yeah, you can do a lot. You can fulfill dreams. You can fulfill promises to yourself. You can help others understand how to fulfill promises to themselves. But this only comes by continuously gaining or helping that person gain skills and finding resources to make progress towards whatever it is they want to do. And you don't do anybody a favor, and you don't do yourself a favor by providing empty reassurance that you can just do anything, because it's not true. That sentence is incomplete. You can do anything you set your mind to. And if you choose a growth mindset and literally adopt and feed it ongoing, you can actually accomplish a ton of amazing stuff in life. It just takes a freaking ton of effort, learning, development, new strategies, inputs, all the things we talk about so often. And so, I think that that's just a good lie that the world tells us, or you tell yourself, and fall into literally this never ending, like, infinity trap of like, living in the idea of I can do anything I set my mind to. Or you tell your kids, or you tell students, and we leave the sentence incomplete, and we're doing everyone and ourselves a complete disservice by not completing that sentence. So that's not a growth mindset. It's not the idea or mindset that you can do anything. There's this other half to it. And that's the part that's the most important. That's the part that's most important.
And takes a ton of effort. Takes a ton of effort.
Forever.
It's ongoing effort, and it's something that you have to.
Ton of effort, ton of problem solving, ton of hardship, a ton of everything.
Yep.
And it's literally living in that space. It's committing to that space. You're literally just committing to that space. If you can just commit to that space of ongoing development, ongoing learning, that's where it lives. That's where the dream of doing anything lives, right? And it's not even a dream at that point. You're like living it in real life motion, bringing something to fruition.
Exactly.
But again, we have to quit doing our youth, we have to quit doing our team members. We have to quit doing ourselves a disservice by not bringing forward or bringing to like the highest light possible that this is what it's all about. This is how it works. This is how it functions. That's a growth mindset.
So good. Dallas, man, again, just to review these three things that are not growth mindset. Dallas, fantastic what you just covered. Thank you so much, man. But as we wrap up this episode, I just want to review these three things that are not growth mindset. Taking what you like about yourself and calling it growth mindset is not growth mindset. Or these are misunderstandings about growth mindset. I apologize. Taking what you like about yourself and calling it a growth mindset. That's not growth mindset. Thinking it's only about effort and praising effort. Again, it's a misunderstanding of growth mindset. It's not just about the effort. Another misunderstanding is a growth mindset means that anyone can do anything. Again, it's the effort that goes into, man, Dallas, so good. How you just broke these down. It's these three things are so powerful. And it's things that we often and constantly have to be reminding ourselves of as we're all growing, as we're all trying to really grow our growth mindset and live an abundant growth mindset oriented life, is we have to be aware of these things so we don't fall into the traps of them. We have to. So Dallas, thank you so much for breaking these down. Thanks for letting me kind of chime in as well and ask you some additional questions along these things, but very powerful things that we went over today. So thank you.
I love it.
Thank you so much.
It's,
Anything else you want to add here as we wrap up?
I mean, nothing really to add here. I would go back, read through that information. And again, Jackson used the word trap. I mean, the journey's full of them. The journey is full of a billion different traps. And again, that's why we do the work we do. That's why we love being here with you, is because when you can increase your self-awareness regarding those traps and being able to notice them on a regular basis as they pop up, the sooner you can recognize and the better you get at recognizing those things, the more you're going to be able to progress through your journey and what it is you're experiencing and move on to that next piece of growth for you in your life and your business, and really just thrive as a person and increase your impact in whatever mission it is that you have. And it's empowering. It really is. But to close out, dude, I guess the only thing I'd mention is, we are moving down the year of 2023 with this new model on Saturdays with extended cuts and really diving into our unofficial Book of the Month club. And January's up. I think today's last Saturday in January, which means, do you want to intro next month's book?
Go ahead.
I'll intro next month's book. We're going to be diving into extreme ownership, Jocko Willink, Leif Babin. And to be honest with you, I'm as stoked or even more stoked to jump into extreme ownership and really, dissect and bring to the forefront a lot of the most important principles regarding that specific book. And if you haven't gotten a copy, grab one before the month starts, download it on Audible, and we get zero kickback on any of that. You should just do it because it's a freaking dang good resource for everything you want to accomplish in life. And
absolutely.
So anyways, just wanted to throw
excited to break that one down with you.
It'll be fun.
Excited to break that one down with you, Dallas. It's gonna be a good one to dive into next month for sure. Also, we've got some exciting episodes coming next month as well for these extended cut ones. We're going to be at Peak Partnership next month, so we'll be able to get some fun episodes with some high level individuals there, I hope. So looking forward to that. Dallas, thank you again so much for your time and your knowledge here on these episodes. Everybody, if you haven't left us a rating and review, please go ahead and do so at this time. Leave us a comment or whatever, wherever it is that you're listening. It's going to help us reach more people, and that's what we're trying to do. So appreciate y'all for listening. Dallas, again, thank you so much for your time. Have a great rest of your weekend. Take care, y'all.